Well, guys, welcome back to another episode of The Watering Hole, where I am sitting next to...
I don't have water this week.
You do not. You have coffee.
I have water with coffee in it.
That's your second. That's your second coffee.
That's my third coffee today, Todd.
You probably need some water then.
You probably do need some water.
That could be afternoon.
I need some water too.
It'll be post podcast. I'll have water. For now,
Post
coffee.
podcast water. Well, we've decided at the beginning of this wonderful second episode that we are leaving politics out of it because we just learned something about Brandon today that we're not going to share. We're not going to share, but it's okay. It's all good. No one's losing any jobs today or anything along those kind of lines.
Wow, Todd.
Hey, listen.
Janice is HR?
Janice, get in here.
No, we are not going to need HR for this. But what we want to continue to do with the watering hole is to kind of take you through the weeks and our brains and our thought processes, I guess, in terms of what we want to do, where we're going to hunt, what we're going to do. And most importantly, at least something that's true to my heart has always been the filming part and kind of just bringing to everyone's light some of the equipment we use and how we use it and what we do. And I don't want to like blow that in one episode. I think that's something we carry out through each episode. So we're going to kind of, that's where we're going, Justin. So First off, I want to give a personal shout out to you, your son, Joey. I mean, smoking his first buck with a compound bow. Dude, that's a big deal. That's a huge deal.
It is. I was a little nervous. I was like, oh boy, it's happening. Like, here we go. I was like, please.
Did you really feel that way when you saw two bucks come in the field?
I was like, please, God, man. Like when he drew his bow back, I was like, please just make a good shot. I do not want to go on a freaking goose chase tonight.
Please don't shoot like me.
It's a weeknight.
I gave you a lot of my genes, but don't have my shooting genes.
Yes, for sure. And he freaking absolutely, I mean, you couldn't have put a better shot on. Like, you could not have made a better shot than that. Like, if you walked up, if that deer was like froze, you snapped your fingers and froze time and walked up and said, right here is where I want to shoot that. Like, that's where that arrow went.
I was
like, oh my God, I'm not sure I've ever put that good of a shot on a deer in my life.
You know what? Let's just talk about that for a second. Because aren't we just, isn't it funny how bow hunters always look for the entrance hole? I mean, every time you see a photo, it's like you're always looking for that entrance hole. I don't know what it is about it, but like, and then I immediately, oh look, there's no hole here at all. What happened here?
Then I immediately like have some sort of judgmental reaction based on where the hole is or where.
Why are we that way?
I don't know. Maybe it's just us.
Yeah,
probably not.
Hopefully not.
Dude, I saw one the other day. I won't drop names, but it was a pretty well recognized, group of people in the hunting industry, and they're, gushing over this deer that somebody shot, and beautiful photo as always, right? I mean, these people
we're good at photos.
And the deer was all posed up, and dude, the hole was like there was a hole like here. And I was like, I don't think the arrow's supposed to go there. Like, if that was me, it was like in his leg almost. And I was like, if that was me, I would have flipped that deer around to the other side and tried to hide that hole. But they almost like made it bigger. Like, because, a lot of people love to like clean up that hole and kind of make it look really big if they have like a broad head.
I've never made a hole look bigger.
Trying to promote.
I'm just saying. I'm just going to put that out there. People do this. People do this. I've never done a thing.
Yeah, it's 100% a thing.
I did not know this.
100% a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called marketing, Todd.
Well, comment below if you've actually taken a photo and made the hole bigger. I don't think anybody would comment on that, but we're gonna leave that one alone. But more importantly, Justin, congratulations. That's awesome. Joey shot his first buck. Great recovery, and what's super cool on the filming side of things, how cool. You're in a saddle. You captured it all. I imagine you, knowing you, because you're a perfectionist, you're GoProing it, you're 360ing it, you're big cameraing it, you captured it all. Can't wait to watch the hunt. Those are some of my most favorite hunts to watch, is people getting their first deer. I mean, I don't care. You can't replicate that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't his first deer.
No, dude, right? First buck with a compound bow is a big deal.
It is it's a big difference going from a ground blind, a tripod with a crossbow on it. Like, he was 8 when he shot his first one, and we've hunted hard the last, this is his 5th year now. It's crazy because he shot a deer at 8, 9, 10, and 11. So he shot one a year for those years. But again, they were all crossbows off the tripod out of the ground blind. And I told him going into this year, I'm like, you're old enough now that, number one, you're going to get your hunter safety card so you can go hunt on your own and you don't need me with you. Number two, you're going to a compound. And he was like, dude, he was not happy about that at first. He was like, why do I have to do that? Because, I mean, his immediate reaction was like, he knows, dude, he could shoot a deer at 40 yards with a crossbow like nothing. Like, he knows that. And he's like, well, how far am I going to be able to shoot with my compound? And I'm like, 20. And he's like, well how am I going to kill anything? You know? So we had to have a lot of conversations, you know, about that type of stuff and why we hunt and why I wanted him to try the compound, you know? And it stinks because, like, I don't want this to come off as, like, a slight against crossbow hunters, because there's plenty of guys out there that are just shooting a crossbow that have no interest in compound hunting.
I'm going to get in trouble right when you're finished with this, so go ahead.
But I don't care. But, like, I wanted him, and I think as parents we often do this, we want our kids to have the same experiences that we had.
Yep.
And experience the trials and tribulations and hopefully develop that same love of bow hunting I think that we have, which I do think is a different level of passion, I think, for what we do than the average crossbow hunter. I'm not speaking for all of them, but for the average guy, I think they're a lot more like, I don't know, weekend warrior types, which is fine, dude. If you want to take a crossbow, go shoot a deer, I don't care. For me, I prefer
Justin
using
just
the compound.
used the weekend. We should get a decal that says the weekend warrior.
Warrior.
But I'm going to take it a step further, Justin. I mean, and I'm going to get beat up for this. I feel it. It's coming, but I'm going to say it anyhow. Dude, until you shot a deer with a compound bow and experienced that. A vertical bow. Let's go vertical bow. That's fine. Yeah, 100%. Vertical bow. You're right. Good point. Thank you for correcting me. Dude, it's next level. I'm sorry, but we talked about it the other day in regards to the fact that I didn't get my elk and I could go back with a rifle because my tag allows me to do that, whatever. Dude, you couldn't pay me to go back with a rifle. Like I want to, dude, I guess call me what you want to call me. Dude, once you're a bow hunter, man, you're all in. It's kind of why we call our show Bowhunter Die, right? I mean, it's a totally different level. It's a totally different hunt. Not bashing rifle hunters. I'm not. Don't get mad.
Yeah, it all has its place, for sure.
But man, bow hunting, you want to get the ultimate thrill.
But you know what's interesting, right, is like not everybody feels that way. Even people that have tried bow hunting and done it and maybe shot something and then have been like, not really for me. Like, it's strange how it affects everybody a little bit differently. Some people really get hooked on it. Other people are like, it's too much time. It's silly. It's too cold. It's too whatever. Like, it's not for me. You know, I liken it to, because obviously now that I have kids, like I liken it to kids playing sports. You know, you're like, oh, I want to get little Timmy into, playing baseball. You know, my kids all started there. And like, I've coached enough little kids playing baseball. It's not for all of them. Some of them love it. Other ones, dude, they could take it or leave it. And they're like, I mean, I've had kids tell me, like, I'm only here because my
but you're not going to force. I mean, at this point moving forward, you're not forcing Joey. If Joey came to you tomorrow, because we had a conversation during the Bowhunter Die show, you were like, hey, he's ready to go hunting again, which is super cool.
Well, he told me last night he doesn't want to shoot another buck right away because he doesn't want to be tagged out because he wants to hunt more. So he's like, maybe cool. I won't hunt right away, or I'll at least shoot a bigger one now, or whatever.
Dude, listen, when I was rifle hunting, like that was the big deal. The big deal was what? The big deal was, why are we only doing this for like 1 weekend, 2 weekends? Like, holy cow, we could be doing this for this whole span of the whole season and get a piece of all of the action. Hot to medium to cold, which we'll get into here when we're done talking about this. But you just be able to hunt so much longer. So I don't know. It's cool that he's pumped. It's cool he's ready to rock and roll. My point was, if he looked you in the eyeballs and said, Dad, I really just want to use my crossbow, you're not going to tell him no. I have a hard time believing. Oh, whoa! Okay.
He'd have a pretty good reason for it. I mean, but here's the thing: now that he's done it with his vertical bow, like, I don't think he'd want to go back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like it's like once you've done it, you're like, all right, this was pretty lit. Like, he was excited to do it, and he was excited.
But I know you.
He was
You're
excited
not going to stop
be,
him from hunting if he said, "Dad,
if he really came and said,
this is just what I want to do,"
it's fine. I'd rather have him go hunt with that than not hunt at all, for sure. But I don't foresee that happening. I know, like, this was his first year in a stand, so we climbed up in the stand last night, and keep in mind the spot we hunted, he'd shot 2 deer prior in the same food plot, but from the ground blind, right? So he climbs up in that stand last night and he gets up there and he's like, oh my God, like you can see so much better up here. He's like, this is way better than sitting in the ground blind, is what he said. He's like, this is so much better than sitting in the blind. I could see everything. I could see the deer coming. It's not so boring. Like you're not just like staring at, one little opening. So yeah, I mean, he's pretty hooked. And like I was talking to you about earlier, this deer starts coming in. Another one came behind him. So the two of them kind of scamper into the plot. And my initial gut reaction was to be go into I call it dad/guide mode, where I'm directing him on what to do, because that's what I've done when he was younger. Okay, get up, turn the safety off, get on the bow, get ready to shoot. It was walking him through that process. And this time, I felt myself on the verge of doing it, and I was like, no, I literally said nothing. I didn't say a word.
Dude, I'm proud of you. I'm going to let him hard to do.
Figure it out. He can figure out when to shoot. If he wants to stop the deer, I'm not going to tell him, okay, draw your bow back, relax. I'm like, you know what? I just want to pretend that I'm out here.
That's cool.
So I just let the camera run, and he did it all on his own. And
super hard to do. And you brought something up there, so let's go ahead and talk about that next. And that is the filming and what we do. And I want to talk about these 360 cameras because I just think they're the
game changer. I think for self-filming,
they are
even
amazing.
for non-self-filming. I think they're an absolute game changer.
Yeah, guys, listen, we're not trying to sit here and sell 360 cameras, but I'm going to tell you right now, Brandon, if you got time, you're just listening to this and you want to go watch the actual video edited version of this, we'll throw some stuff up with what you're going to get when you use a 360 camera. But as Justin used the word game changer, it's kind of funny because we have kind of this internal joke, a lot of times the phone will ring and somebody wants to build a new website, and usually Janice, our office manager, will be like, hey Justin, I got somebody on the phone and they have a game changing
revolutionary. We're going to disrupt the industry. I tell you what we're going to do, guys. We're going to build a social media network for hunters.
So, guys, this happens way more than you would ever think that it happens. But listen, one of the goals with the watering hole is to kind of get you informed on the gear that we use and how we use it and how you can capture your hunts. Because this is something that's been dear to our hearts for as long as we've been, filming. Since we started bowhunting.com, we love to capture the moments. And the 360 is something we implemented last year, and it has been awesome. Of course, there's links in the bottom of this if you want to go see the ones that we use specifically. But I mean, wow, what you can get from this camera on top of all the other gear that we use. And, Justin was sitting there that whole time kind of explaining his son's hunt, and I'm hoping you can just bring in your 360. I'm sure you had it running during that whole time. You'll see with everything that he was describing, it's all being captured because you're literally getting everything. Yeah. Well, not good for the trespasser. Not good for the guy who's going to do something wrong. That's for certain, because you get it all.
I don't think you want to film yourself doing anything illegal.
People are
generally
dumb.
Frowned upon.
I know, but we already know people are not the smartest people in the world, and people do dumb stuff. But this 360 captures it all.
And I think for us, it's really the evolution of the way we filmed our hunts. In the early days, it was one camera. One big camera.
One big one.
On a big old
VHS, baby.
Camera. Well, not for me. That was in your days, maybe.
I got to find that photo.
I missed the VHS days. I had high 8 cameras. But anyways, it was one camera on a big old tree arm of some sort. And that was really it. You had one angle, right? Then GoPro came out, and it was like, oh man, there's these action cameras. They're small. You could take them around. You could mount them to things. You can do stuff. And then with that came remember those big external batteries we used to use on our GoPros?
Yeah.
Then we figured out, we can actually just get a battery bank and plug it in.
Right.
And so what happened for us was that was kind of the first evolution where it was like, I'm going to mount this GoPro over my shoulder, because we felt like with self-filming, that was the piece that was always missing.
Yeah.
You never got to see the hunter.
No.
You could only see what the camera was capturing of the animal and maybe the arrow impacting and whatnot, but you never got to see the drawback.
And then your head when you turned the camera.
Yeah, you never got to see the drawback. You never got to see the guy glassing or rattling or calling, or you never got the experience like what it's like when all of a sudden you look up and there's a buck there and you got to slowly stand up and get your bow and all those things that happen. So the
Agreed.
GoPro came in. Problem with the GoPro was, for as good as it is with like a nice wide angle, it didn't get everything. And it's like Murphy's Law, right? Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. And it's like, I have my camera pointed over here because the deer is going to come here. And sure enough, the deer comes over there. And I missed the shot on the GoPro.
Yeah, because you turned way over here.
Yeah, and it was still better than nothing, but it wasn't perfect.
I agree.
Then the 360 comes out and it's like I said, game changer. It gets everything. And now I do not have to worry about where the deer's at, what I'm doing, anything. Like, it's going to capture everything. And it's amazing.
Yeah, and again...
And we let them run the whole hunt. I think that's
thank you.
one thing that a lot of people don't realize.
Big SD card. I'm running a 256. You're not running a 512,
512.
Oh, you are running 512. Well, either 256, 512 card. We're using the Insta360 specifically. I think it's called the 1RS, I believe.
Correct.
I mean, the lens works phenomenal. It's great in low light.
The reason we use those ones is because they have the bigger sensor in them.
Mm-hmm. The
So
1-inch sensor.
So they will do better in low light. They have another Insta360. I think the X3 or X4 now
I don't know.
is what they're out with. The sensor's not as big. It's a great camera, and it will work because it's less money. Right,
Yeah.
so I mean, if you're looking to buy a 360, like they're still like $500 for the X3, might be, or the 4. I forget which is the most recent version. It's like $500, but the 1RS is like 800 or something like that.
Yeah, it's quite a bit
so,
more.
I mean, it's more money.
But you're able to even zoom. I mean, last night I was so bored.
But I think even
Not
that
seeing anything.
$500 one's like an 8K. It records in 8K.
Yeah, that's huge.
So the only issue we've had with them, and I know a couple of people have asked us about this, they will overheat. When it's warm outside and they're doing constant recording, they will overheat.
Get hot.
No, last night was like in the 60s, I think, last night.
Mine didn't overheat.
Mine did not overheat.
No.
But it seems like when I'm in the 70s and above.
Or if it's just in the sun.
In the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
They
not
will
have it in the
overheat
sun.
and shut off.
As far as setting it up is something we always talk about. If you're going to run out, you're going to get a 360 and you're going to try this out. I mean, guys, it's amazing. I mean, the software, your ability to zoom, capture it all, use multiple clips from one camera. It's freaking amazing what we have found. And I'm still playing with this, but you and I were having this discussion with Brandon, yesterday about this, and a lot of our team members were kind of chirping in because I kind of just posed the question, where's the best place to put it? I kind of took your guys' advice that we were talking about last night. I mean, mine, I stand up, I'm 6 foot tall, but even with being 6 foot tall, like, I almost wish it was a little bit lower, but then you're not going to get my head if I stand up to shoot. Because even with it being at this kind of height, like above your head, it still feels like you got to zoom in a little bit to really get what you want. But I think the best spot to have it is over your right shoulder, about the tip of your head. That way you'll capture it all. You think even though it's so close to your head, with the way it works, it's like your head doesn't fill up the whole screen, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
that's what
it's pretty amazing technology. I don't even know how
they do
it
it.
works. Because, dude, I tell you what, I took our footage from last night home and I was going through it and like just rotating the angle of the view just a little bit here or there, like alters everything. I mean, it's insane. You wouldn't think that it would, but it's just a whole different perspective. I'm amazed at what they capture.
So Insta360, if you want to get one of our first tips that we're going to share with you on how we make our videos look cool and don't miss a beat in the woods, Insta360, make sure you have an external battery pack that you have to run because the battery that comes is not going to run long enough. And to be able to plug it in, hit go, and leave it on the whole time, guarantees when that buck comes running in, you're going to get it.
It's a lot of file storage. Those clips are like 20 gigs a piece. Dude, they are monster clips. So for me...
We got Brandon's eyes are huge right now because he's like, I got to copy a bunch over right now, and they do take a while. But again, you know what? I think what
I only save the ones where there's something
that happened. You get rid of the rest for sure.
But I said, it just gets all that stuff. I took my son out on opening night, and he was sitting there. There was a squirrel underneath the stand, and they were having like a staring contest. He's looking at the squirrel's looking up at him, right? And I look out in the food plot, and here comes a doe in the food plot. Well, dude, I'm on my saddle, and my platform was about shoulder level with him. So I started kicking him in the shoulder to say, like, hey, dude, there's a deer coming, right?
Stop playing with the squirrel.
And he didn't know. He was like, why the hell are you kicking me? And he finally looks up. I'm like, dude, there's a deer coming. And you see him. But, like, I got that interaction on camera.
Which you would have never got.
Normally wouldn't have. Yep. So that's why it's cool.
Well, Justin, let's end this by
I have a topic I think we should talk about.
Oh man, okay. Well, listen, we promise to keep these.
Why? If people enjoy them, they're going to keep listening, Todd.
Okay. Well, I want to make sure we talk about our plan for this week,
Okay.
and then we
Let's
can go
do
ahead and
that.
get your topic in there. You want to get your topic, or want to talk about this week?
Let's go for it. What is your plan for this week, Todd?
Dude, I'm kind of a little stressing for some reason.
Sure, it's October 7th or 8th.
I know, but you know what? I've
you
decided
stressing
to do
about?
something that I said I wouldn't do, but I kind of got this one deer that I kind of want to shoot. So I literally have, I know it's dumb. I know it's stupid. Here we go. But I've gone to the same set 5 times now. 5 zeros in a row.
So are
That
you...
one time, it's not a 0 is all that matters.
Dude, I know.
That's what an addict says, Brando, a gambling addict. I've often said that hunters are just addicts. We're gambling addicts. Like we always think,
Well, we're
I need to
gambling
go
like our
one more
time.
Correct. We're just gambling with our time.
I know.
I just got to keep going. Eventually, I'm gonna roll
I like this spot
black.
though, dude.
Can't
Like
go red forever, Brando.
I know.
It's gonna go black.
I know.
Just
And
keep betting.
I'm literally sitting here looking at my watch, thinking about this evening. Do I go back for the 6th time or not?
Why are you going back there?
Because I just love it. I love the spot. I put the energy into it. The access is perfect.
Well, okay, so that was gonna be my thing.
It's like
If your
everything
access
is
is
good.
good,
Oh yeah, dude. I'm not
and it's
blowing
one
anything.
of those that you know of.
I'm not spooked. No, listen, your scent's always going somewhere.
Sure.
For sure. But,
You're
but
always leaving ground send.
there is ground. But even where the ground scent is, man, I've run trail cameras on this one particular spot, dude. The deer just don't like to go here. It's just, it is in a suburban area. Like, they just don't like to go there. Not saying they don't ever go there, but
Okay.
my
Well, I
ground
mean, if
scent
you've got
is
the
not.
right wind,
I got good
you
wind.
have perfect access.
Dude, this great food. Imagine this, dude. You're 20 foot up, beautiful food plot. I mean, I'm telling you, it is a gorgeous, dude.
And
Close
you have
to bedding.
and you have daytime photos of this deer in that food plot.
I
you
am
wanna shoot?
lacking the daytime photos of the deer in the food plot,
Which is okay.
He
Which is
showed
okay.
up. He's been there not during the season in this plot. Okay.
During the summertime.
During the summertime
In
and
the
whatever. Yeah, 100%. He has not daylighted. Close. I mean, dude, dusk and dawn. I got him. Just not. And I was hoping these couple
Isn't that
little.
amazing how they
Dude,
do
I was
that?
hoping these couple pressure system was just going to be what it took. Because last year, that buck that Troy got showed up. Bam. In my plot when I was driving back from hunting with Sturgill down in Kentucky, and I missed that cold front. If I was there, dude, he's standing right there in the plot. So, do I go there one more time, or do I finally just say,
I mean,
it's time to try something different? Dude, 6 hunts, 0. Do you know how hard that is? I'm watching your son shoot a buck. Paul's seeing deer. All my other buddies are seeing deer. Dude, I have not seen a deer. I have not seen a deer.
I was
Todd Graff has not
organizing.
seen a deer.
I was organizing some of my footage from a while
What's
ago.
that look for? Dude, Brandon thinks it's bad.
Dude, I was watching an old interview from 2 or 3 years ago. For some reason, I was organizing footage late at night on a Saturday or something, and I found a clip. It was me going all right, I'm on my 8th hunt of the season, and 6 of those 8 I have not seen deer. And I'm yeah, that sounds about right. I'm really looking forward to this season, baby. Let's go.
Well, Justin, listen, this is a different week. Weather-wise, I mean, it's as calm as it can be. It's just
It was a little breezy last night, and then it really calmed down. When we were walking
No, that was
in,
the night before.
No, last night. When we were walking in, there was a decent breeze. Climbed up in the stand, and then it was it kind of dude, it was pretty quiet by 6.
What time are you getting in your stand this time of year?
We were in at 4:45 last night.
Me too. Okay, 4:45 too.
Yeah, I figured we wouldn't see deer till 6-ish. I
Yeah.
think he shot that deer at 10 after 6. So it was
I
pretty
don't know.
spot on.
I don't know if I'm flipping a coin tonight or what I'm doing tonight, but I just don't know if I can handle another day without seeing deer. The worst thing to do too is get on Instagram. When you're
Why? Because everybody's seeing deer and shooting deer.
Oh my God! If I get one more text, they're sending me pictures of deer into their
It's the
stand.
FOMO.
I got nothing. I just can't believe this. So, anyhow,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Should I go back or should I not?
I would. Why not? What do you got? What else you got to do?
Go to what I believe could be better spots, but I'm probably going to push my luck and go one more time. Just one more time.
Until you have a reason to not go, then go. Was this the deer that you were telling me hasn't been on camera at all for a while and you thought he was dead or something?
Yes, he's alive. He disappeared.
Oh, okay.
He did the move. He was gone. I lost him for about 4 weeks, and he did reappear.
Usually when they leave, they don't reappear that
4 weeks, he came back.
Has he been pretty regular since then?
I got a great video of him making a scrape. Then he came into the food plot, looked at the camera, and that was it. That was on Saturday. Sunday, I was gone on Saturday.
Yep.
I got home on Sunday. Saturday morning, they were close by. So I figured Sunday night was going to be the killing night, and I saw nothing. Nothing, zero.
Sunday night, it was windy.
It was super windy. So fine, I chucked up as it being windy. Last night was perfect.
Last night
was perfect.
Last night was a great night.
I know, you killed the deer. Your son killed the deer.
Temperatures
I didn't
were
see
dropping.
A deer.
Dude, it was cold. Like when we were gutting that deer out last night, dude, it was cold. I was like, dude, it's getting chilly out here.
And I'm just going to do one. I'm going to do. Were you going to mention this, or are you going to mention something different?
Something
Because we got to wrap this up here because I know Brandon's stomach is growling over there.
He's fine. Brando, it's good for you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to mention this real quick. If you weren't going to mention,
go for it.
You know, something that if you haven't seen, because man, I say don't go on Instagram. You may not want to go to our website bowhunting.com and look at the big buck roundups. You know, Ben has been cranking these things out basically for the last 4 weeks, and if you want to see some giant bucks, I mean, just big bucks, all different people, guys. These aren't just celebrities.
Yeah, I mean, what we're doing is we're trying to just. What we're doing, Todd, is we are going through Instagram and Facebook and other websites, and we're seeing people shoot some big-ass deer. We're taking those pictures and those stories, and we're just kind of adding them into, like, one spot where it's like a roundup of, like, these are some of the big bucks that have been killed in the last week.
Week by week.
You know, so there's some dandies in there, dude. Mm-hmm. I mean, some big stuff.
Dude,
like,
are you kidding me?
Look at this one. Than anything I got on trail camera.
Pierce
What's
Moore.
the biggest deer you got on trail camera this year, Todd? Inches wise, just give me a score.
Do we really want to talk about this?
Yeah,
dude, it's not good. It's not good for me this year. Everyone posted I'm lying and baloney, dude.
Just the biggest buck you personally have a trail camera photo of this year scores
150.
150
max.
Yeah, I'm about the same. I think I have one that'll go a little touch over that. I hope, anyways, he will. But. Yeah, but after that, it's like
I got
maybe
nothing.
A couple 140s, and then it's a pretty steep drop off after that.
Yeah,
my spot out west has got one mature buck on it. It's got one deer on it that I think is 3. I'm not sure. He might be 4, but I think he's 3.
If you shoot him, we'll just call him 4.
But dude, he's good enough to where like I don't know that I would pass him if I saw him, but I don't want to shoot him. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm like,
yes.
How's that worked out for you in the past?
Bad.
I usually just shoot them, Brando, and now they're just skulls on my wall.
And believe me, there's plenty of people that will watch this and be like, well, you're the idiot that's causing the reason why you don't have the bigger one and da-da-da-da.
Yeah, I know. I'm a part of the problem. That's okay. It's okay.
I'm just saying, listen,
I like
I'm
shooting
a part of
deer.
the problem too from time to time. There's no doubt. I'm telling you, I got 2 that...
Hey, I've done the passing deer thing plenty of times.
Yes.
Guess what? It ain't never worked out for me.
It's true. We live in an area where it's
judge me
very,
all you want.
Well, dude, and it's about where you live. Like, listen, I'm sorry, but you know there are people who have shows and own property where the land is big enough. They know their neighbors. There's different things going on that allow them to be able to let that deer go and have that deer actually get big. Where you and I are hunting, dude, that chance is not very good.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I mean, there's this nice buck, dude. He was out last night, daylight. And I have a ton of pictures of him right in front of my stand at my place out west.
Okay, got it.
You know, he's a tight but real tall, like 9-pointer, like good beams wrap around. Dude, he's probably got 11-inch G2s. Like he's
this is the one you don't want to see or the one you do want to see?
I really don't want to see him. The only deer I have out there that I know is older than him probably won't score as well. He's wide and short, but he's probably 4, if I had to guess, maybe even 5.
All right.
That's why I'm sticking at home. I got more deer to shoot here than I do out west. But I'm
just going to say, though, it's a messed up thing when you say, I just don't want to see this deer. I want to see him, and I guess if it gives me the feeling
I don't want to see him in bow range.
Bow.
How about that? I'd like to see him like out across the field, like, oh, and I can get a look at him and be like, oh, that's a dandy buck. But I never had a shot at him. Because if he walks right in front of me, that's going to be really hard to not be like, you know, you're going to look good on Instagram, buddy.
Yeah, but you're not going to say, I'm doing it for the show. Dude, you're doing it because you want to shoot the deer.
I like shooting deer.
Yeah. All right. Guys.
I think if it's because of trail cameras, now it's like we know just about every deer we ever see. Like there's very few times where a deer shows up where I haven't had pictures of the deer, right? It doesn't happen very often.
Did it happen to you at all last year?
I don't recall, but probably not. I mean,
I had one last year. I only had one, but I never saw the deer. I only got one photo.
Yeah, I'm saying see the deer in real life and don't have a picture of it.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't see him in real life. Okay,
yeah, but that doesn't happen very often.
No.
So what I'm saying is like
that's what we want to happen.
I know. I'd love for a bonus booner to just show up, but guess what? It doesn't happen. So what I'm saying is like,
gotta dream big, man.
When I go into the field, I generally have a list of deer in my mind that it's like I know I'm going to pass this deer if I see it because I don't want to shoot it. So if I already know that, it makes it a lot easier. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you can just commit to being like, I'm not shooting this deer, even if it's 150 inches.
It's bad when you
if
shoot
you're
something you don't want to do, and then you walk up to it and you're mad.
I will say my son had he had his first case of ground shrinkage last night. It was a nice deer. It's probably a 2-year-old that he shot, but he did think it was a little bit, and I even thought it was bigger when he shot it. And I mean, it's not that it's a bad deer. My gosh, he's not a trophy hunter by any means, but he was like, Dad, I thought that deer was a little bit bigger, when we were up in the tree. And I was like, this is what's called ground shrinkage, buddy.
When you sent me the video real quick, dude, my eyes are getting shitty. So I had to like totally like pull my glasses down like this and kind of like, I was like, oh man, yeah. And then I got,
then you get the photo and you're like, he's not quite as big.
Whoa, boy, that can happen. Well, all right. Justin,
he didn't understand the concept. He was like,
oh, now he does.
No, he goes, did the deer actually like get smaller after it died? Like he thought maybe it actually like it shrank after it was dead. I'm like, no, it's just an optical illusion.
An optical illusion.
It's fun having to
when your heart's
those things.
Pounding and your bow is in your hand.
All right, Todd, my last topic before we go. Do you believe that people, landowners, are...
See, he's speaking to me.
No, not you at all. I mean, unless you're doing this and I don't know about it. Do you believe that it's possible that there are landowners that are taking deer from a high fence and releasing them onto their property or in the wild in their area in order to improve the genetics and rack size of their local deer herd? And I'm not necessarily talking about releasing bucks because that would be too obvious. I'm talking about the does. Do you think that's a thing? Because I've been hearing a lot of chatter amongst folks that they believe that there's folks doing this.
Wow. That would be an interesting way to go about it if you were going to try to be illegal. I guess you're right.
But is it? I mean, I don't know how illegal it is.
Well, dude, it'd be 100% illegal.
Well, I don't know if it's illegal.
It is illegal
a captive
to bring
deer into the wild.
Well, sure it is, dude. I mean, you got to have permits and shit. You can't just go tomorrow. I can't just wake up and be like, I'm just going to bring deer to my property. It doesn't work that way. You have to have permitting. You have to.
Well, what if you had permitting to have these deer and then, oops, I left the door open and they all got out?
And they were all pregnant does that were
not even necessarily pregnant from like
a 220 inch
buck. because
already in there. The DNA is already there.
Can that happen by me, please?
This is apparently a thing that people are talking about.
Gosh,
I don't know. It seems a little bit far-fetched to me.
I don't know, man. You asked me the question.
Do you think it would even work?
Is it ethical?
Why wouldn't it work? What are you talking about? Dude, if you listen, gosh, this is interesting. We want to hear your comments on this one. This is interesting as all hell, I'll be honest. But yeah, you're 100% right. Like, okay, like if you want to get caught right away, be an idiot and go buy a 200-inch deer and release it on your property and shoot it. I guess, okay, that's not good. I mean, you can generally tell by the racks and blah, blah, blah.
Of course, we all kind of know a high-fence deer when we see one.
But you're right. I mean, geez, Louise, just now you got me thinking here. Not that I'm thinking because I'm going to try to pull this off by any means. But you're literally talking about...
Because the selective breeding that they do in high fence is not just for bucks. It's for does, right? They know which does produce the bucks with the bigger racks, right? Because the doe has just as much input on the size of the offspring.
But you're 100% right. Like, I mean, if that were to happen,
you take a group of does and release them into an area with a specific set of genetics that have been bred to produce bigger bucks, they start reproducing. Then those deer reproduce. Like, it could potentially introduce.
I'm just gonna say, I got a feeling
alter
you're
the
gonna
gene
be
pool.
probably getting a phone call now from conservation officers.
For what? I don't own
Because you just
land
got
or
this-
have enough money
You're
to do
hearing
any of this.
this. No, we're broke. We
We're
are
just
not, we do
conspiracy
not have
theorists.
enough money to pull this off.
I'm the
I am
Alex
not
Jones
doing
of
this.
deer
No,
hunting.
Justin, I am not doing this on my property. Period. I'm even looking at any of those people that read people like.
Yeah, but
no,
I see
am
the
not
gears
doing
are
this on my
turning.
property.
Can I do that?
He's twiddling his thumbs
Would it
really
work?
quick. That's a sign. Look, you can tell his heart
But do you
rate's
think
increased.
people are doing it? Is it a thing? I mean,
Holy
there's a lot of, things flying
Justin,
out there. In the
I
ether.
really try to always look for the
Brando?
good.
If the idea exists, somebody's
It's
doing
happening.
it.
It's probably happening.
Wow,
Wow.
man.
I like to always think about the good in life, and I hope that it's not happening. But you know what?
I mean, there's still wild deer after they're, the thing's got to get bred. The doe has to get bred.
Yeah,
she
but
has to
dude,
have
but-
offspring.
yeah, but-
then they have to grow up. They have to live for a certain number of years. They still have the correct.
You're assuming it needs to be bred. What
Why
happens
would-
if it's already bred, dude? Why would you even go to that far? Why wouldn't you just wait until you know? I mean, listen, if you're going to go to that extent,
Yeah, but dude, then if it, I guess I know.
dude, wow,
maybe.
what are you talking about? Why would you not? Okay,
Does the doe-
randomly you let any doe? If the doe has already been
bred.
Bred.
So you're saying she's pregnant and they release her.
why not? Dude, not to mention the fact that let's think about it. Part of what allows these deer to be able to do what they do, dude, it's all through nutrition. So let's just assume, geez, I'm not trying to help anybody out here, but if you're going to do this,
Or role playing, that's all.
we're role playing. But if you're going to do this, why would you not wait to know that my best buck with the best genetics bed my 2 or 3 best does? I'm going to continue to supplement the feeding. I'm going to make sure I'm going to get them through as many of their trimesters as possible, so I know that nutritionally those deer are not being ran down. They have everything they
So
need.
we're creating the formula to do this.
Oh boy, yeah,
We're giving you everything you need to know.
But I'm just saying,
think
like, oh my
about.
gosh, and then you're gonna. I mean, those fawns now have a lot of what they need. Now, granted, they need a lot of what after they're born, and
So
there's
you're
still
saying
predation.
that.
But
So basically, what we're saying is like a deer that in a high fence has the capability of maybe being 300 inches, right? He gets out in the wild. Now they've got the stresses of the wild. They have the lack of nutrition that they would have in a fence. Maybe he's only a 200-inch deer in
that's
the wild.
still a 200-inch deer.
Still a 200-inch.
You and I
deer.
don't have one of those.
I don't have anything even within 50 inches of that.
Right. Wow.
Maybe it's a thing, guys.
As always, Justin
do you guys
Czar
think?
never seems
Hey,
to.
dude, somebody
not
just
throw a
mentioned it to me
curveball at
this morning, and I was like, this is a thing?
I would make sure when you. We should have said at the beginning. I'm going to say it now, so then he can just put this at the beginning of the show. If you're just tuning into this and you're getting bored of listening to us talk about a few of the things that we're talking about, definitely fast forward to the end, because this one will make your head spin. Justin, you just made my head spin. Who are you talking to about this happening?
Todd wants to know all the details.
Just
No,
my
okay,
my
I'm
bros.
done.
Just,
Okay,
just
fine.
my hunting bros.
Justin, listen.
You know how it is.
People
They're the
do-
same people that think that the DNR is releasing cougars into the wild to control the population, and the insurance lobby's behind everything, and all the popular.
I don't
deer
want to
hunting
get started because I'm
conspiracies. There's a
cranky
lot of
about
them.
CWD. So just at the end of the day, Justin, that's a head spinner. But to answer your question, yeah, you know what? I would believe that somebody would do that. Why not?
Fair
Yeah.
enough. It's happening. We
It's
gotta
not-
get. We
I'll
gotta.
tell you right now, it's not happening at my place. That's for sure.
Nope.
Oh, I shouldn't say. Well, no, I better not go there. I'm going to shut up.
So I was told by CWD.
What I was
CWD.
going to say is just, do you remember when I called you earlier in this year and I was planting those big trees in that one spot because I'm trying to create a savanna? So I went and bought these 2-inch caliper trees, and yeah, like 90% of them died because, of course, we get a freaking drought and I couldn't keep up with them. But and you remember I told you, I was like, oh my gosh, I thought I saw an albino deer and it was a buck. Did I tell you this?
Yes.
I think I called you. I
It
think
was
I'm gonna have
wasn't
a
it
video.
a goat or something?
No, dude, it's like axis deer or something. They actually did
yeah,
get off
yeah,
somebody's place and make it over to my place, and they're eating all my baby trees. I'm like, what? They ended up recapturing them.
You could have killed him.
I
legally.
probably could have, but like I was like thinking, holy cow, I finally have an albino deer. I was so excited. Then I got my binocular on, and I realized I'm a loser, and that was not a white-tailed deer. But they were recaptured, and they're no longer on my property. But I wish they were does, and I wish they had their offspring there and
You could have
did
shot
what you
one.
just said.
Probably tasty.
Okay.
They probably
There
didn't
you
have
have
CWD either.
Justin, thank you for bringing the surprise attack. You know what, Justin? Maybe that's what we'll do for all these episodes. We'll let you have one surprise at the end. I have no idea what you're going to drop on me because that was a hell of a drop. I did not expect that out of you today. Do you want that to happen near your properties?
Hell yeah.
All right.
I was like, why can't I be the beneficiary?
With that being said,
a little good luck.
lunchtime is over. The cooler, the pond is closed. The water hole's closed. That's it. We're wrapping this baby up. Brandon, HR 130.